So we've got one more speaker, and then we're having our panel discussion, then we're into lunch. So I would like to welcome Frida Coy. Frida is a founder and director of FK Consulting and has been in the real estate industry since the early 2000s. She provides mentorship and training to property practitioners and invests her time and effort in an industry she believes in. And I really look forward to learning from Frida's wisdom. Welcome.
Sjoe, hierdie ligte is baie skerp. Thank you very much for the opportunity this morning. It's absolutely fantastic to be here, and I think I have to compliment the organizers for putting together these amazing speakers. I mean, I really enjoyed the people that have spoken already, and it really makes me very proud of an industry that I've been in for many years. So I've been asked this morning to speak about operating ethically in real estate. So the reason, most probably, why I've been in the industry for many years and that I'm still in the industry and I've written a book on the topic is the fact that I personally believe that the only way that you could ever really build a sustainable business is if you can do ethically business. So it should be and it should not actually be a question asked, because we should all know exactly what does ethics mean. What does ethics mean? Ethics, in essence, means that you know exactly what is right and wrong. So it's we know what should be the right thing to do in our industry. But yet, it's kind of, I'm sure you've all made that call. Lots of the speakers spoke this morning a little bit about phone calls that they make. That phone call of, yes, I'm X, Y, or Z. Excuse me, what are you again? You're an agent. I don't trust agents. I've only had very bad experiences with agents. So I'm coming from that side. I'm coming from the side saying that, you know what, why should we even have this discussion? Why should we have a discussion about ethics if we all say the following? So what I did in the last few months speaking on the topic was I firstly looked at what does business gurus say, what makes a business operating ethically. They say ethical business is about ethical leadership, it's about integrity, it's about honesty, it's very much about trust, it's about care and respect. So that's kind of in essence what they say, what ethics are. So great, we understand that definition. Then I went and I said to myself, okay, well, great, that's one thing, we now kind of understand that. What do we, everybody here, say, what do we stand for? So I went and I looked at about, I think 25, it could even be more, 30 property practitioners' websites, and it's very easy to do this exercise. All you do is you Google whatever name you want to, and you say about. And then this long stories comes up. You know, I don't know when last did you actually have read your own website, the information on your own website. It is shocking. I mean, most people still talk about the EAB on the website. So this is what the likes of EXP and Chas Everett and Remax and Harcourts and Sieve and many more, as I said, I most probably read about through 25 of them. They said this is what we stand for. We stand, the most used words are the following. We care for people, we focused on people, we invest in people, we've got strong ethics and values, we change lives, we're excellent in what we do. It's all about integrity and honesty. And yet we still get the response of, excuse me, what are you again? You're an agent. now I'm actually a property practitioner, but that's also something to still discuss. I want to be the professional. Everything that we've heard about this morning is saying I am presenting something that is precious. I am presenting something that you can trust. I am giving you the advice about the biggest investment that you will ever make. We're bringing something different. You can trust me. You cannot trust somebody if you don't understand what right and wrong is. And I mean, the point for me is, in our industry, is there's this little bit of a disconnect in the sense that what is right and wrong? So the right and wrong of our industry is written in the Code of Conduct. There's absolutely no gray areas with regards to the activities of a property practitioner. There's very specific rights and wrongs and guidelines with regards to that. And if we follow that guidelines, and those guidelines were created to give us this, it gives us the ethical behavior. It is the standard of professional behavior. It creates trust, without a doubt. And I mean, the more important thing for me about that is every single person here that are a registered property practitioner that operates and earns money in this industry should know and understand that. And then it actually should become very easy. It should become very easy because the bottom line is we will self-regulate the process. Because we should all be on exactly the same platform in terms of what is right and wrong. And then it's like, okay, well, what does these guidelines say, Freda? The interesting thing, and I mean that's the part where I also kind of just hang on to, is as you would know, when the new revised Code of Conduct was published, it was asked of us, or it's expected of us, to carry a copy of this Code of Conduct with you. So you should, at any point of time, always have a copy of the Code of Conduct with you. More importantly for me about having the Code of Conduct with you is please understand what is in the Code of Conduct and be able to explain it to somebody that actually asks you about the Code of Conduct. And I thought, really, I mean, it's not the morning to come and discuss the Code of Conduct. That we can always do in a session in a module training for you. But I did wanted to quickly just highlight most probably, in my mind, the most two important regulations in the Code of Conduct. And that's also obviously the first two regulations in the Code of Conduct. The very first one being, you should never, a property practitioner may never do anything contrary to the integrity of property practitioners in general. Listen, it's applicable to all property practitioners. Because remember, the Act also defines different categories of property practitioners. So never do anything that would be contrary to anybody in the industry. In the industry in general. So that is just such a good kind of point to start any conversation or relationship or collaboration. I think David started with the collaboration part of it all. So that's the one thing. And then the second thing, very importantly, it says protect the interest of his or her clients at all times to the best of your ability. Protect your client's interest. Firstly, so what does those two regulations say? It sets that general conduct, standard of conduct, and it prohibits dishonesty. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's about understanding what we need to do and what is right and wrong. So, in my mind, where does the disconnect start? The disconnect starts by you not knowing the code of conduct. So kind of in a year, I take about at the moment, I've got about 150 people in training with me, and it's quite shocking to me when I get to a PDE4 prep session and I start asking people about the code of conduct and the explanation thereof, and I realize that they've most probably never read through the code of conduct. So the disconnect most probably starts by us not knowing the code of conduct. What is expected of you, you don't know, and you can't interpret, and you cannot tactfully execute on, because that's kind of what we also need. We have to execute on it. So then apply and use it to your advantage. I always say, so what really does make the difference? We've heard quite a bit of things this morning already, but I believe that the only thing that will differentiate you from the other agent ever will be that people say, I can seriously trust that agent. I can believe what they say. So your disconnection, walk the talk. We spoke quickly, briefly, gave you some highlights about the websites. Just walk the talk. What your company is saying about all of this, walk that talk. Then implement it in your business. We got quite a few tips this morning, but hopefully you'll walk away from what I said this morning saying, you know what, people can take me for my word. That means my colleagues, the people working with me in the industry. Wrapping up, I believe what will make the challenge, or what is my challenge to you? Imagine an industry with integrity, meaning that you'll just do what you say you're going to do. If every property practitioner do what they say they're going to do, they always put the client's interest first, not the agent. So if you start negotiating with another agent on a deal, we first ask the question, what would be the best for the client? Let's start the conversation there. And then your professional conduct should never be questioned. You should always be seen as the professional. Then the respect comes. Not to misrepresent or mislead on anything. The sole mandate board doesn't go up somewhere where there is no sole mandate. Let's bring back the respect for a sole mandate. You spoke lots about listings. Deep in my heart, I believe you build a successful business on sole mandates. Let's bring back the respect for a sole mandate. It's said in the code of conduct. Do not phone the seller and say, excuse me, so when does this mandate actually expire? I've got a buyer for you. So shall we see each other next week Thursday? No, you just don't do that. You do not do that. There's very specific guidelines and rules about that sole mandate. You're going to execute on that sole mandate of yours with a specific marketing plan as it is expected of you in the code of conduct. That's how you sign a sole mandate. That is what makes the difference. Owe your clients a duty of care and skill. That's section 46 in the Act. You owe them some care and skill. And I think that's kind of where I want to leave you. And I want to leave you with knowing that it starts with you and your company, and you will never, and I'm as excited about the people that I saw this morning and the people at this event and about our industry, but you will never be able to build on your success and make it a sustainable business if you don't operate ethically. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Frida.